For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
There's been another walkout, this time in the Senate. Recommendations as to how the authorities should deal with the crime problem over in Vieux, and we have the latest regarding that situation between Grenada and St. Vincent, the Grenadian 3. What has happened with regard to their fate? This is another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world, and that is NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. We are also on the NewsSpin Facebook page and the NewsSpin YouTube channel. My name is Timothy Poleon. We go up until 2 o'clock in a moment. You'll be hearing from Kimani. She'll be providing us with updates regarding your behavior and your discussion in the chat room, both on Facebook and YouTube. And I'll be hearing from you directly when you call 452-2979. That's 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And that is 716-2026. The upper chambers of the island's parliament, the Senate, normally the discussions there are cerebral and of a high quality, of a high standard, because those individuals were not elected by the people of this country. And therefore, day-to-day politics does not really come into play. They don't have to play to the gallery. They don't have to impress you, the voters of the country. They leave that for the guys in the lower house. But yesterday, we're seeing increasingly, we're realizing that politicians will be politicians, particularly those who are in the Senate who want to be elected into office. That's where all the power, the power lies. Being in the House of Assembly and being a minister and an elected minister at that. And so there is a need for the opposition to stage a walkout. In a moment, we'll provide you with the details via a report by DBS's Zane Romulus. But there's a time when politicians need to be magnanimous and look at the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture? The bigger picture is to allow all the players in the Senate to speak their mind, to provide their input with regard to various pieces of legislation that would come before them. In this case, yesterday, it was the Tourism Development Bill. Why want to move hastily to pass a legislation without giving all the senators an opportunity to speak on a legislation that would have implication for the wider St. Lucian society, that would impact us in one way or the other? Because the opposition must not believe, as opposition senators, they know it all and they have all the ideas, and whatever they say goes. And the same obtains for government senators and the independent senators. You are around the table, not with coming there with any kind of foregone conclusions, but coming there being open-minded, wanting to impart knowledge, wanting to learn from your peers. And I think that is what is missing in the island's parliament. And it's, again, a contest of personalities where individuals want to prove that because their party is in power, because they are presiding over the affairs of the Senate or the House of Assembly, then they automatically must rule in favor of the government side. And that is to the detriment of the people of St. Lucia. Let us hear now from Zane Romulus with a report on what transpired in the Senate yesterday.
Opposition senators left the House early on Tuesday following what they claim was a premature closure of the debate on the Tourism Development Bill. According to Senator Poleon, she intended to speak right after the leader of the opposition business, Dominic Fede, had made his contribution. Fellow Senator Nancy Charles would have followed after. However, it turned out that neither got the opportunity to do so.
Honorable Leader of Government Business.
Thank you.
Did I miss? Is it?
I don't know. Sorry.
Was your light on, Senator? Okay. Well, I saw your light then.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam President.
Excuse me, Madam President. I'm sorry. Madam President, the Senator has indicated that she would like to speak. This is a very important bill, and I think that in the interest of democracy, we need to allow the Senator to speak.
Senator Fede, I would advise you to be guided by the standing orders. The lights. No. Just be quiet while I'm speaking. I looked across the chamber on 2 occasions, saw no light on. I then took it up on my own to call on Senator Ferdinand.
The blame for Tuesday's events is being placed squarely on the leader of government business, Gideon Ferdinand, who, according to the senators, had the authority to yield and allow them to make their contributions.
The leader of government business, who was not on his feet at the time, realized that my light was on. And I did indicate to him that I wanted to speak. But rather than using his discretion to allow me to speak, and bearing in mind that Senator Charles had to speak after me, he didn't acknowledge. We strongly believe that the senators on the other side are not receptive to constructive debate. They're not. And we've said it time and again that as an opposition, we are duty-bound to scrutinize the policies presented by the government. It is our duty to inform St. Lucians of the other argument.
Senator Nancy Charles believes the public was denied an opportunity to hear the concerns the oppositions had about the bill. According to her, it is the right and responsibility of the opposition to provide constructive criticism on proposed legislation.
I had a well-documented presentation in the Tourism Development Bill. There are lots of areas of concerns. There were lots of questions that I had highlighted that I wanted to make a presentation on. And obviously the plan was that Senator Poleon would have spoken before me, and after Senator Poleon, I would have then spoken. So in light of what transpired, we as the opposition felt, the two female members of the opposition, we felt we were denied that opportunity. And even at the instance where perhaps the President of the Senate recognized that the mic of the leader of government business was on, I think the leader of government business in his wisdom should have acknowledged the light of Senator Poleon was on and at least request that the President of the Senate allow her to speak, seeing that nobody, can you believe this is such an important bill? Nobody, not one senator on the government side spoke on this bill.
Senator Charles notes what she believes are deliberate attempts by government senators to prevent opposition senators from speaking on certain bills before the House. She also cited a failure by senators of the governing side to make any productive contributions to debates.
When you come to the Senate, you are being paid by the public of St. Lucia. You need to come and do the people's business. You don't come there to do your own political and personal business. You come there to represent the people. Albeit you are expected to be objective and fair. However, we know that you were selected by the government, and perhaps, yes, you have, maybe you will, in certain instances, ensure that you speak to your government's policies. That's your role. We understand that. But when you come to the parliament and you do not speak on a bill because you want to close the debate early to prevent the opposition from speaking, we think this is not right.
Senator Charles and fellow opposition senators have called for an end to political games in the Senate and for the business of the House to take precedence. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
That report was filed last evening during the DBS News World. We continue the broadcast by entertaining your calls right now at 452-2979. That's 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. Good afternoon to you, Kimani. Here is hoping all is well with you.
Good afternoon, Tim. All is well with me.
What's happening in the chat room?
In the chat room, someone says, has this become a trend of not seeing some individuals light? Another comment, Tim, this light thing has to change. Conveniently crossed eyes comes into play. And once they are in the chair, wow, just be quiet while I speak. Dominic got a preschool moment. You don't speak to grown folks in that manner, SMH.
We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Tim, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
No, I'm laughing this afternoon. Who is in charge of the government? That's Mr. Ferdinand.
Who in charge of what?
The head of government business.
Yes, Mr. Ferdinand.
So he's the one that in the opposition senators from sitting?
No. But I think in that particular instance, he could have been magnanimous. He could have yielded and asked the president to allow one of the opposition senators to speak. Because what the president of the Senate is saying that she did not see the light of the opposition. The light was on.
So the opposition have free Senate, are you correct?
Yes, sir.
And the winning party, you know how many they have?
I think the government side would have about 5, and we have 2 independent senators.
Okay. So the secret weapon, Shaftney's secret weapon, is the leader of government business in Parliament.
I'm listening to you, sir. I'm listening.
Yeah. So, but then these are persons that they are not MP, as you quite rightly said in your opening.
No, they are MPs. They are just not elected MPs. They are members of parliament.
They are MP, they are member of parliament?
Yes, they are members of parliament. That's why you hear people say elected member of parliament. So you are either elected or not elected.
Papa, that one is strange. Okay, I thought they're in charge of a constituency.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
They are members of parliament. They were not elected. So they are members of parliament.
Taxpayers are paying these people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to do something anyway. But then it baffles me, and honestly speaking, that every time like that your light was not on, and then somebody has to be walk out of parliament. Then the bill, one of the most important bills, we need to talk about, and then you don't get a chance, man, to discuss the matter, what is happening, so that we the people on the ground can know at least. There are things we don't know about, and they are the ones that have the document and they can tell us what to do. But anyway,
this thing about the president of the Senate and the Speaker of the House occasionally saying they did not see the light of this individual was on, or which one was on first, etc. I think we are supposed to be in an enlightened period, and we have technology at our disposal. People watch the proceedings in real time on Facebook, YouTube, television, etc. Maybe the audience should be given an opportunity to judge for themselves whether those who are presiding over the affairs of the House or the Senate, whether they are being fair. You understand? So we get an opportunity to see whether this individual's light was on before that other individual, etc. So we can judge for ourselves.
I clearly understand what you said, because I'm just trying to make up. But I will say something here, and I know this one is not for you. That's for me. So you might not want to engage me in that one. These were the guy who went on 2 consecutive times, not winning a seat in Mikut South. He is now the leader of government business. So he have a responsibility right now, because taxpayers are the one keep funding these people and keep them on their foot. Because without we pay, there will be no need for these people. And I'm still questioning, what is the importance of the people for the taxpayer? What is important? Huh? Do you have a right to at least think of that for your own self? Eh? What are the important? Because we have so many things in that country things to be paid. Pay ministers, pay so many attaché, consultants, and the person travel overseas, not bringing a dime back to the country. We have to pay them. These people, once they travel, we have to pay them. Sometimes they have their own vehicle, but they have a state-sponsored vehicle paying by taxpayers. This is ridiculous for me, and we're talking about tightening our belt. The country don't have money. We don't have money to do this. We don't have money to fix the road. We don't have money to do this. We don't have money to that. The youth are not employed. But we have so many millions of dollars wasted going to wastage. And a lot of people will not like me when I say that. Those monies are clearly going to wastage. Too many persons they're directing a prime minister, and they have so many faults and mistakes. So many. I wonder, who are these people? Too many technocrats. The crime situation, Viewport now, and I can tell you, it is almost fearful, Tim, now in the night time. I was at a friend home a minute ago. By the time it is 5 o'clock, Tim, persons are already under the curfew in Brazil. Believe me?
That goes without saying.
You don't believe me?
I'm saying to you, that goes without saying. That is expected.
Tim, that is seriously affecting the person that have the little barbecue grills by the road. They cannot put that any time between 5 o'clock now. There is a parliament, a member of parliament for Viewport North, and you said something yesterday. I know you're going to get a lot of criticism from Facebook and even the chat room for what you said yesterday. If you are living in Viewport, you wonder if there is a need to vote. If there is any need to vote, and I'm clearly telling you...
No, not a need to vote. I did ask whether anyone should vote for the incumbent, re-elect Dr. Kenny Anthony as the MP for Vieux-Fort South, based on what has happened there under his watch.
And you're so true. I mean, I support you on that. I mean, not everything sometimes is that. But that one is clearly because if the current situation is affecting the constituency you represent, you doesn't say anything, you remain tight-lipped. I mean, it's like, so who is representing the people in Vieux-Fort? Who? And you know what saddens me? When election comes, these people still have the guts to come down there and campaign, you know, team, and try win a seat again, you know. Oh my gosh, Lord have mercy. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. More updates from you, Kimani?
In the chat room, someone says, Timothy, a simple solution is to have a speaking order. Or someone says, instead of a light, they will have to use a buzzer. Is it the speaker or the president not seeing the microphone lights coming, or the opposition trying to cause disruption in the House? Another comment, what are they so afraid of? They won't allow the opposition to speak. Someone says, you took it up on your own, Madam President. Really, you people are too obvious with your decisions. Nonsense. A solution to this particular problem is in both houses. There should be a numbering system where members on both houses dip for a number and make their presentations in numerical order based on the number they picked. Tim, this light thing has to change conveniently. Wait, I said this. St. Lucia is facing two major issues, roads and guns. The escalation of gun violence and road accidents has severely increased in St. Lucia. Even hit and runs have become the new thing.
I think on this broadcast, we need to pay closer attention as well to the crashes and collisions that are occurring on our roads with such frequency, and so many people are losing their lives. I think we had maybe number 5 in terms of road fatalities for this year. And the untold number of crashes that have occurred, resulting in people being injured, maybe losing a limb, vehicles being damaged. It demonstrates our lack of discipline on our part as citizens. So we're not disciplined when it comes to serious crimes. We just cannot ensure that we conduct ourselves in an acceptable manner. Don't break the law by having legal firearms in our possession and ammunition. And also we cannot discipline ourselves how we use the roads. We have a lot more vehicles on our roads right now than we had, let's say, a decade ago. I mean, nearly every week we have a shipment of vehicles entering the country and ending up on our roads. So we have to be very, very careful. We're putting a serious strain on our limited resources, whether it's the traffic department of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, the emergency services, our medical personnel. So we have to be realistic about those things.
But
and
I think
it all boils down again to policing.
Right, I was about to say enforcement of these laws. The police need to enforce these laws. If these laws are not enforced, of course, people are just going to do what they want.
You still see people riding without a helmet. And that's against the law. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Bon après-midi, Mr. Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Mr. Tim, dernièrement là, Deputy Speaker Jeremiah Patewe like Mr. Chasney. Et puis hier, Président Sénateur c'est Alvina Reynolds, il parle like Sénateur Ferra Polius. Bon, en opinion moi, Tim, moi j'ai las et puis administration Philippe J. parce que c'est mon salaire gouvernement. Et puis, moi, vraiment, des questions, comment y a eu qu'à faire dormir l'offre pour y a eu qu'à prendre ma pays à servir pas plus comme ça. Et puis, le problème là, moi, nian, et puis, administration Philippe J. Le M. Chasney qui voyagé, M. Chasney qui marché de sit-in en Parlement. Et puis, Claudia Francis Tedou qui, M. Chasney pas supposé je payer. Alors, mi à présent, Claudia Francis Jamache, de sit-in, moi voulais demander, est-ce qu'il a joué payer? Ça fait question, moi qu'a demandé Claudia. Bon, moi qu'a crié sur toute maman ici ici. On nous mettait tête ensemble, assez parler, trop parler pas bon, nous n'y pour prendre action contre le gouvernement ça là, et montrer administration ça là, nous pas picher, et nous j'ai parlé pour nous vier pour pays ça là en bas l'homme Philippe J. C'est ça moi qu'a quitté pour journée.
Okay, merci beaucoup. What's a message, Tim? If the light is a problem, let them decide by show of hand. The speaker must see the hand. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, Tim, where is the Prime Minister's press secretary? Let's see if we have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
3-time journalist of the year. Mr. Trophy Porter, good afternoon. Kamani.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Hi, good
Good afternoon. Let's smile to Kamani. You have a beautiful smile, girl.
Thank you.
You have a wonderful smile.
Let's move on, Bermuda. Let's move on.
I talking to a beautiful lady. You want me to talk to you? I talking to a beautiful lady. What's wrong with you? Listen to me.
Go ahead.
The Mongoose gang, the SFP Mongoose gang, the Speaker of the House, the Deputy Speaker, and now the President. That's organized crime. I personally believe that's organized crime. They're doing that for purpose. They don't want the people to speak. And according to the last caller, they should take action. Time for the people to take action. You see, I've been saying for the longest while, they used to walk out the house when the great man, the world's greatest leader, Sir Alan McIntyre, was Prime Minister. Now they cannot walk out the house because they cannot debate. They cannot debate with the great man. They cannot debate with the great man. Now they have to sit down and debate with the great man. They're trying to avoid the great man and his members and his colleagues from speaking. And the people of St. Lucia is standing for that. They have to demand that the people that the rap speak, man. Let me continue. I hear them saying, oh, nobody can do nothing about crime. Nothing about crime. Tim, Barbados has 2 murders for the year. 1 or 2. St. Lucia, 20.
19, sir. 19.
Tim.
Where you get that 20
I don't
from?
know from ACS, those journalists don't lie a lot. They lie a lot for the government.
We had 19.
They lie a lot for the government. I don't even think it's more than 20. Okay? Now, Bermuda, you know Bermuda had how many murders in Bermuda in 23 years? In Bermuda, they got none for the year, and they got 22 murders in 23 years. Singapore has 0. A lot of countries have 1. The point is that the Mongoose gang cannot govern. When you pick garbage, that's what you get, garbage. They cannot govern. All they got is a lot of talk. And I can tell you something. If you leave the Mongoose gang there, the SFP Mongoose gang, St. Lucia going to be worse. St. Lucia going to be horrible than what the board is. These guys, St. Lucia, my people, when you guys are picking a candidate, as I said before, pick somebody of class, pick somebody of quality. These guys don't even Deglo Dump on those guys. Deglo Dump refused the Mongoose gang. Because although they're garbage, Deglo Dump don't want them. So what do you expect to get from the Mongoose gang? You expect to get something different from them? That's what they are. They cannot debate. We got Senator Nancy Charles, Senator Ferry, and the other lady from Dennery. And everything that comes to the house, and they said it, they don't want to debate. Bring it. Let's pass it. Throw it down your throat. Throw it down the St. Lucian's throat. Your St. Lucian people have to stand up against the Mongoose gang and stop doing a lot of marching and give them action. Give them action. Give them action. Give them what they need, action. Because that's what they're looking for. Give them action. Who do you have to bring something to the house and you can't debate? So debate closed. Oh, I didn't see you. I didn't see your light. I didn't see this. That's bullshit. Time for those guys to be stopped, man. That nonsense.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Bermuda. Next time, say BS. Hello? Thank you so much. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have another call. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon to you, caller. All right.
Good afternoon.
I could hear myself in the background. Whatever device you are using, turn down the volume for me, please. Go ahead.
Okay. What's up, man? You okay there?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right. That's the first time I ever called.
Beg your pardon?
That's the first time I ever call your show. I ever call your program. That's the very first time.
That's not true.
Yes.
I'm telling you, that is not true.
Okay. That's the first time. Probably you mistaken the voice.
No. I'm telling you, that's a lie. I don't do that very often, call people liars. That's a lie.
Okay, well, okay. If you don't think that's okay. But let me tell you, Tim.
Go ahead.
I was going through something over my phone there, and I see something on the YouTube. I don't know if you come across it. And I think Donald Trump sent a warning to Lucia on a video.
No. That's fake. So one, you lied to me, so I think that's the first time you called. Secondly, you want to talk about something that's fake. That's not true.
Up to now, I have my phone, so what I've seen in the video is that video is a fake.
That's fake. That's AI artificial intelligence generated thing that day.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, thanks for calling.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
All right. Thanks for calling. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages. 716-2026. Kimani, the chat room. What's happening?
In the chat room, someone says there should be a system where everyone is allowed to speak unless they decline. That would solve everything. Everyone must contribute in order. First the ruling party, followed by the opposition, then the independent, until everyone gets a turn. There should be no exemption unless the member states they do not wish to speak. Someone says they need to find another strategy for the order in which the various presentations are made. Another comment, I don't think Kenny will run for Vieux-Fort South. I believe he is a placement holder until a replacement can be groomed. Another comment, when the government knows that they can't govern and their policies have many flaws, they will do anything to silence the voices that will explain the issues to the people in the parliament or social media platforms and shows like NewsSpin, etc. The microphone lights were never a problem before, but all of a sudden they can't see whose light came on first. SMH. I believe any member of parliament who refuses to debate the bill at hand once they're in attendance should not get paid for that day. What are we paying you for? Let's see. On the YouTube, someone says, I second what Tim said about making people see and talk about it. Another YouTube comment, upgrade the lights, which would make it more visible for all. That's it, Tim.
Thank you so much, Kimani, for that update. Still to come on the broadcast. Somebody says, we do not have poor people in St. Lucia. Also, recommendation being made how the authorities can tackle the crime problem in Vieux-Fort. And an update on that incident which occurred somewhere between Grenada and St. Vincent involving the Grenada 3. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. NewsSpin.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call 27491 or in New Dock Road, Vieux-Fort, 454-6555.
Lucilex remote options to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, or 285-3329. or send an email to customersupport@lucelec.com for assistance. Call 457-4433 to get bill balances. Use myaccount.lucelec.com for detailed account information and to make online bill payments using a credit or debit card or online bank account. Customers may also take advantage of SurePay's online or walk-in service. Lucelec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
Embrace the magic of the night with someone special by your side. KFC Chicken Nights, a love story waiting to unfold. Sundays to Thursdays, 6 p.m. to closing, just for $35. Share 4 pieces of delectable KFC chicken, 3 tender strips, and 2 regular fries. This enchanting deal is yours to savor at all KFC locations because love knows no boundaries. Having chicken tonight? Make it finger-licking good with KFC's Chicken Nights, where love and flavor come together for a night to remember.
In these modern times, the field of medicine has become so advanced that no one has to suffer any longer before they can be seen by a specialist doctor. La Clinique de Corps is proud to be the only healthcare provider in St. Lucia to offer the best and most experienced specialist doctors who are capable to first correctly diagnose and then successfully treat health conditions such as chronic back pain, spinal injury, sciatica, numbness, lupus, arthritis, joint pain, facial nerve pain, knee, heel and shoulder pain, cramps and carpal tunnel syndrome. Also available at La Clinique de Corps, complete nerve tests to detect nerve injury or muscle disease. All health insurances are accepted at La Clinique de Corps. So walk again pain-free with La Clinique de Corps. To book an appointment, please call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950.
Catch the new vibe and the lingo. More upon more so the tingo. Is more wet flow if you didn't know. All these deals is a winner. More upon more wet flow. More data, more talk for sure. More WhatsApp, video cast, unlimited talk, so you not stop chat.
Flow prepaid combo plans just got better. Loaded with even more data and unlimited talk. Take advantage of WhatsApp and all its features with our new prepaid plans. Unleash your creativity with more social media.
Bring professional staff attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Automotive art is a place to start. Automotive art is a place to start.
Yeah, look, check. We got a wide range of products that are automotive and do-it-yourself supplies if you got a moment. Smart staff that'll always know it. Got rims and tires from trucks to high performance to off-roading. Start hair tools, batteries, oil, and car care.
Automotive art is a place to start.
The government of St. Lucia, through the Ministry of Health, Wellness, and Elderly Affairs, continues to provide more for pregnant women in St. Lucia. Through maternal and child health services under universal health coverage, pregnant women will receive laboratory and ultrasound services through community wellness centers island-wide at no cost. From care during and after pregnancy, vaccinations, family planning to nutritional and mental health counseling, we are here to support you. Take advantage of our weekly services at no cost. And from 1st June 2023, the addition of laboratory and ultrasound services will ease the pressure to aid healthier and safer delivery for you and your baby. Visit your nearest wellness center to register for universal health coverage. For more information, call 468-5300 or 468-5328.
Take it away, Kimani. What's happening in the chat room in terms of an update?
Someone says, good afternoon. As much as I deplore the loss of life by violence, I reserve sentiment for Americans. We as a people easily and quickly forget what the country has done to the region. Grenada was invaded on and dozens of Grenadians lost their life. Did anyone show any care or concern? Another comment in the chat room, someone says, SLP, it's time to take accountability for your mismanagement of the country.
Now imagine somebody says, Tim, the microphone lights must be red so they won't see it. They should make the lights yellow. It might be better at catching their eyes. That's a great one.
Another comment. There was never a problem with the lights before. These childish games should cease. The Senate President's utterances is unacceptable and downright insultive. She should watch her language. Members are adults, not her children. In the chat room, someone says, Tim, sometimes when we listen to selected parliamentarians on social media, we don't know if it's artificial intelligence or real talk. They're lying, LOL. That's it, Tim.
Thank you so much for that update. Kimani will be going to you in just a moment for more updates on what is happening in the NewsSpin chat room. The Facebook chat room, sorry. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Timothy Poleon. And good afternoon, Kimani.
Good afternoon to you, sir. Long time I haven't heard from you.
Yes, I know, but I'm being very quiet. But, I am calling purely on a technical standpoint, Timothy. And bear with me a minute. In cricket today, in the world of cricket, you cannot depend on the umpire to know whether a man is in or out. And in the world of sports, running the mile, it depends on a quarter or tenth of a second to determine who wins the mile, right? This thing about Parliament, I hear somebody says it has been always like that. You cannot today depend on the determination of a speaker to determine which light came on first or whether the light is on. Somebody could be looking and not seeing. Somebody can determine which light they want to see first and which one light they want to see last. So I am advocating, in my little knowledge here, that we all look at the program called Jeopardy, and see how quick it is between two people to turn on the light first. Maybe they should contact Steve Harvey. The Parliament system needs to be updated, where only one light comes on. And who hits that light first should that light, because technology has that in place today. So sometimes we have to think of upgrading the technology, and it works for both parties. I'm not here to promote this party or that party. I am just here on a technical standpoint. And bear with me, the fact is that systems have to be upgraded to suit the time in the world today. This thing about the speaker deciding which light she sees, or he or she decides which light came on first, or whether she was looking left or right or up or down or whatever, that's not the order of today. We're in the 21st century. We're going beyond that. They need to address that system, and I'm hoping that with all the changes, the Constitution and all that's changing today, they look at putting in a modern system, because it's a game of chance in that parliament we have today, and maybe in other parliaments around the Caribbean. St. Lucia could be first in improving that system. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and I welcome that suggestion is being made by that last caller. We cannot leave it to a human being to determine whether this guy's light was on before the other individual. There's also the chance that somebody will always make an error. So in such a situation, I think we could utilize whatever technology that is available so that the person who puts on their light first gets the opportunity to speak, whether it's at the level of the House of Assembly or in the Senate. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Timothy. Good afternoon, Kimani.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Oh, boy, you all are hard to get.
Well,
you all are hard to get.
But people are monitoring. Hard to get, but people are monitoring. Everyone is monitoring. Go ahead.
Anyhow, I like it. Brother Harris, I calling upon you. Happy New Year to you all. Brother Harris, this is a sister of yours, not in blood, but in
In Christ.
In Christ.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like you to help me out with a few sheets of plywood for my flooring, because my flooring is going down and I don't want to get my foot break. I am disabled. I am not going nowhere to say I can seek help. So, Brother Harris, I'm begging you, please. But Timothy, allow me to give you...
But you should have called Brother Harris on his phone.
I don't know his number.
You don't know his number? Okay, all right. But Brother Harris is listening. I'm sure he's listening.
He's listening, because I know he's listening every day.
Okay. You put Brother Harris on the spot there. Go ahead, sister.
Timothy, I don't know if you'll allow me to give my number to one Jeremy. Jeremy, who used to work on
HTS, Helen FM.
Helen FM, and he used to work for that fellow Williams.
Norbert Williams.
Norbert Williams, right. From the time I'm not hearing him, I only hear him on your show.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to leave my number for him to call me, please.
What's your number?
My number is 45 26 553.
Okay. So
please, Timothy.
So you miss hearing Jeremy?
Yeah,
yeah. All right, 4526
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Oh, God will bless you, and thank you very much.
You're welcome, and hope Brother Harris will make that donation.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm praying every day.
Okay, and I hope Brother Harris will call NewsSpin this afternoon to say that he'll be donating those supplies to you. What's your name, by the way?
Huh?
What's your name?
My name is Valsi. They call me Sister Valsi.
Sister Valsi. Okay, so Brother Harris, please help Sister Valsi. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right. Kimani, what's happening in the chat room? You never know what will happen on this broadcast, eh?
Not at all.
Brother Harris, I'm challenging you. Please call the broadcast this afternoon, as you always do.
In the chat, someone says, simply fix. When one light is on, the others will not come on, and automatically, even if someone else tries. The opposition must stand up at the same time they engage their lights. Let the speaker or the president say that they did not see them. If I was in there, I would stand and make my contribution, which would not be allowed by the presiding officer, and make them eject me and let the public judge.
We have a call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Timothy.
Yes, good afternoon, Nancy Charles. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good, Timothy.
Yes.
Timothy, I want to read something to you.
Mm-hmm.
I am reading from the standing order of the Senate of St. Lucia, because I've heard a number of persons call about that light issue. And I think when I was first appointed a temporary senator and I was given this book, I read this and I still did not understand why the lighting thing. So here's what the standing order says. And I had that discussion as well last evening with a former president of the Senate, and she said, oh, we don't use that anymore. I said, well, you have not changed the standing order. So the standing order says in section 33(1), it says, are you hearing me, Timothy?
Loud and clear.
It says, a senator desiring to speak shall rise in his place, and if called upon, shall address his observations to the president or the chairman. No senator shall speak unless called upon by the president of the chairman or the chairman. And I want to read that again. It says, if you are a senator and you are desiring to speak, the standing order says you shall rise in your place. It never said you will turn on the mic or turn on this or what. It says you shall rise. So obviously when you stand, you will be noticed. And it says in section 2, if two or more senators rise at the same time, the president or the chairman shall call upon the senator who first catches his eye. Now, I've always had a problem with that, and it says the same thing for the parliament. So this is for the Senate. The rules of debate for the parliament, section 32 says the same thing. A member desiring to speak shall rise in his place, and if called upon, shall address his observation to the speaker or the chairman. No member shall speak unless called upon by the speaker or the chairman. So you will rise to show that you wish to speak, then the speaker or the president will acknowledge you, and then you will speak. This thing changed, I don't know when, where, how, and then in order to signal your intention to speak, you're supposed to turn on a mic. Now, let's look at, if those persons who saw the video, let's look at how is it possible when the president of the Senate turned her head. She first turned her head in the direction of the opposition. When she turned her head in the direction of the opposition, she did not see the mic was on because the mic was not on, rightfully. When she turned to look the other side, that is when the member turned her mic on. So she would not have noticed that the mic was on because she was not looking in that direction. So when she turned the other side, she should have turned back again to see if anybody's mic was on. Now, one of your callers asked the question, whether it is Gibeon Ferdinand who's the one preventing the members to speak. And I will say in this instance, and there was another instance, which is why we felt that we had to politely leave the chambers and share with the members of the public what our concerns are or were, because at the end of the day, Gibeon Ferdinand, there's no thing as you would just trying to close the debate. And if when Gibeon saw Farah's light, and you can look at it, he saw Farah's light was on, he still stood up. I think he should have been the bigger person and say, well, because the president did not see her light for sure. If she had turned her head again, she would have seen it. But he should have been the bigger person to say, yes, her light was on, allow her to speak, allow her to go ahead and make a presentation. He never did. He proceeded because, you see, once the light of the mover of the motion, and that is Gibeon, if you move the motion, once you turn your light on, it means that because you are the mover, you now have the right to close your motion. So once you turn your light on, then it means that you are closing the motion. And so his light was on in an attempt to close the motion. And that's not the first time this has happened. We went to Parliament last year, and I was in the Senate the same way. We had the motion to borrow $200 million for the St. Jude's Hospital project. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Timothy, the chamber is so very cold, and it was the same incident. After Dominic Fede, while Dominic Fede was speaking, I spoke to Farah. I said, are you speaking? She said, yes. I said, I have to speak. I have my presentation. But it is so cold, so I will rush downstairs, get a little bit of warm, drink a little cup of tea, and I will come back up. So she said, no problem, we agreed. Fede was still speaking. I went downstairs. As soon as I turned the kettle on and was putting together the tea, I'm watching the TV, and I see that the debate is being closed. Gibeon turned on his mic because I think Farah did not turn her mic in time. So it feels like when you're in the Senate that you kind of like a race against time. You have to quickly try and turn on your mic because if you don't, they're going to close the debate. And deliberately, they don't speak. And that's what they did to Alan Chasney. Persons would realize that the Prime Minister, during the debate in the upper house when we had the first budget debate, he closed the debate and prevented members of his own party from speaking and closed the debate just to prevent Alan Chasney from speaking. And I'm saying these childish games, this is childish, this is immature. When we come to the Senate, it's supposed to be different from the Parliament, like you rightly said. You have politicians at the top. Let them pander to the electorate. I'm fine with that. But when we come to the Senate, it is expected that you have a lot more substance. It is expected that persons are going to ensure that they are very rational, that they are objective in the presentation. And when there is a need for us to support, we do, because we supported a motion earlier, Timothy. There was a motion to allow for a VAT exemption for the St. Lucia Football Association to bring in lighting fixtures. And we both stood and we applauded and we approved it. We accepted it. You understand? So for me, if persons are saying they should put a yellow light or whatever, I think the Senate and the Parliament should go according to the standing orders. The standing orders say that you shall rise, so that lighting thing, they need to stop it, and I will challenge it the next time I'm given an opportunity. I will challenge the Speaker and the President, and I will say, the standing order says that I shall rise, so I will rise. And if she says to me, why am I rising? This is what the standing order says. The standing orders did not tell me to turn on a mic. It didn't tell me to put on a switch. It said, I shall rise. And I think if they do the rising thing as per the standing orders, there will be no mistake, because you can't say you did not see me standing.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for your contribution. See if we have a WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, Tim, the president of the Senate called the leader of government business. His light was never on. View and watch the clip again. Kimani, What's happening in the chat room?
Instead of putting lights on and they cannot see, put on a button so when you press it, can call your name. So since they can't see, they can hear. Someone says, bring back Stanley Felix to the Senate. Another comment, someone says, Gibeon did a Jeremiah on you all. On the YouTube channel, someone is commenting saying, did anyone else see in the broadcast the independent senator pointing his fingers to the light for the attention of the Senate president? Another comment on the YouTube, someone says, wait, not the YouTube, the Facebook. Someone says, we need a show to address tax returns and why it takes years to get it. When you owe it with interest, but when they owe you, it's years.
WhatsApp message, how many ministers will be able to rise from their chair quickly to speak? LOL. Most times these guys are too heavy to get up quickly. If you observe them in the house, they are very sluggish except when they are misbehaving.
Someone says, I viewed the live session. It is evident that their inability to identify when the opposition has indicated to speak, this was orchestrated by the SLP government senators. The body language of both the senators and the leader of government business seemed obvious. There seemed to be a pattern of blatant unfairness when the opposition should be given their turn to speak. Are they insecure of the truthful, eloquent, competent official representation of the representatives of the UWP? What is the SLP government's reason for manipulating the parliament session? They want to prevent the opposition from debating intelligently in the House of Parliament. That's it.
Thank you so much, Kimani, for that update. We continue with more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Ken.
Hi. Good afternoon, Rick.
Yesterday, I tried so hard and for so long.
To get the line?
I just...
you just gave up? Okay.
I just want to tell you what I was going to say yesterday, and it has moved on to higher again now. Yesterday I wrote some notes there. I actually wrote the note I don't normally do. I wanted to tell you, in keeping with the guy who said you had the greatest show in the world and blah, blah, blah. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to add that NewsSpin is one, great for a laugh, regardless, especially if you're in a bad mood. Your day has started. If you get a kick out of getting embarrassed, trust NewsSpin is giving an opportunity to be embarrassed. And embarrassed as a solution. Your show is also fantastic for exposing the intelligence and talent level of our people and ourselves and our people. That's what I wanted to say to you yesterday. I also wanted to say to you yesterday that this Grenadian Prime Minister, who made, I think, a total ass of himself when he was here with what he said and the follow-up to what he said. And he only spoke for 25 minutes, and everybody's quoting him, whereas the Prime Minister spoke for over 2 hours and nobody's carrying a word about quoting the Prime Minister. Which I thought was a hell of a thing to say, because it sounded like an insult to the Prime Minister. That what our Prime Minister said was so insignificant as not to be worthy memory. But what he said stood out. You remember what he said it was?
Yes.
Etc. Yesterday, true to form, the guy stands up, and this all look and sound the same, Tim. They dress the same, the haircut is the same, they talk the same nonsense, by and large. He said yesterday on clip that the region, and remember, it's just internet, everybody's listening to everything, and you have all kinds of spies and just repeat.
Rick, I think something is wrong with your phone because you're not coming across too clearly at all. It's sounding a little bit distorted for whatever reason. I don't know.
See what I mean? Embarrassed that I have a phone that's less than a year old. And but are you hearing me now?
It's a little, no, it's a little distorted. I don't know if you want to use another phone. Do you have another phone you can use? Landline?
Do me a special favor and have Kimani give me a call.
I will call you. Okay, we'll call Rick. Rick wants Kimani to call him. Trickery. All right, let's see if we can call Rick right now so that he can continue his contribution on the broadcast. So please stand by. We'll try to call him via WhatsApp. So we're dialing his number right now to see if he could continue his contribution, because earlier on the call was a little distorted. Let's see. We are trying to get on to Rick. In the meantime, maybe you could go through some of the comments in the chat room, Kimani?
We have a few. Someone says, why the UWP representatives in-house are not desperate to put their lights on to speak, and they are so quick to walk out. Too much neck turning. This is the 21st century. Things need to change. When someone's light is off. Another comment, haven't you all realized what is happening? They are trying their best to not have a discussion on these issues because the lies they told to the people. A prolonged discussion will further cause people to be upset. Furthermore, people like Nancy Charles have been very effective in the Senate and her contributions make the rounds. So any chance to close the debate would be taken by this government. Let's see what else we have in the chat. Someone says... thanks, Nancy. You just confirmed my point that I would have stood up. That is it in the chat, Tim.
We're encountering some difficulty in contacting Rick, so we'll continue to try and let's see if we'll be successful anytime from now. Let's take another call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Am I better now, Tim?
Yes, sounding better. Go ahead.
Okay. I was saying about the Prime Minister saying that, and I wanted to point out that the heirs, all around us, we've been receiving advisories here and there, etc. So I would have thought we'd be particularly careful about that. But they're saying for the whole world to hear that we all know that for some time the Caribbean, the region, has had a gun crime pandemic. You remember that?
Yes, he said that, yes. We played the clip yesterday.
And he said it was only a matter of time before it got to us.
Mm-hmm.
That was in relation to 2 tourists getting killed and 3 escapees, or something like that, right?
Yes. Well, we don't know if the couple, if they were killed there, because their body has not been found.
All right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that it was in relation to that he made the comment, right?
Yes, it was.
Tim, that didn't bother you at all, the hat coming from the Prime Minister?
Of course it did. That's why we highlighted it on the broadcast yesterday.
Well, that's why I tell you, you must look a point to this with due respect. That because if he came in and while he's in, since he's been in, everybody knows that the region, that kind of publicity, great advertising, the region is a gun crime, under a gun crime pandemic. He's publicizing that to the whole world. Well, isn't the natural reaction to that? Well, if you know that, you should also have included what precautions you have taken since you came into office, no?
Yes, that's the realistic thing to do.
Yeah, but he said nothing about that. And since we all live in the Caribbean as well, and it's not just now, as far back as the time of Maroc, you were a little boy then, Tim?
Yeah. That's Herald in Rock in 1974?
You were covering her then too much.
Well, not as a government minister. I was not in the media yet.
All right.
Yeah.
But Herald in Rock is one of our political icons,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, there were a lot of breakouts. And quite often, the inmates who supposedly broke out were shot or have limbs blown away. And the country was applauding that. And I remember going to the prison commissioner when I was taking notes for it right in the morning, and to discuss that particular problem. The guy was a Guyanese, by the way, and there was a lot of noise about Guyanese then too. Okay, it was that period. And the gentleman said to me, Rick, none of these breakouts have been breakouts. They know very well, they're the authorities, the police authorities, know very well, it's a very low, as was his terms to me, we hire a very low caliber of prison officers. And these guys are bought whether with marijuana or otherwise, or liquor or whatever, the prisoners who are allowed time out, and they promise that they'll be back by a certain time. And of course, usually they're not. He panics and he calls on certain police officers, I won't call their names, to take over and bring them back. And usually it's bloodshed. So the matter of breaking out of prison, we use those phrases. It does not necessarily mean anybody broke out, which is not to say that's the case in Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have we continue to believe that those Venezuelans or Colombians, whatever they were, as we had here, that took off by helicopter. Remember that?
Venezuelans.
Right. Remember that?
Yes.
There's been no solution.
I think Mr. Guy Mayers was Home Affairs Minister at the time.
Okay. We have never heard what really went down. There's never been any long discussion consistent. There's never been any explanation for the St. Lucian who accompanied them. None of that. We just let these things fly. But, a helicopter arrives at the scene to pick up those guys, and we are supposed to believe they broke out in broad daylight, Tim? I think we all suspect it's more than a breakout.
Mm-hmm.
No? At the very least, right?
Yes.
I say all of that. Are you still hearing me well, Tim?
Loud and clear.
Okay. I say all of that so that we don't dismiss, remote as it might be, the possibility that those three guys were let out in Grenada. Because that's what happens. We have ample, it happened a number of times in the Caribbean. It happens overseas as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I am saying, I'm not stating that they bought their way out, but that possibility exists.
It
right?
does. It does.
So
Because if you also listen to the police commissioner, the Grenadian police commissioner, he's saying that when he did his assessment, he doesn't have any reason to believe that there was anything that would have allowed the guys to break out of the prison or of the station.
My point precisely. But those politicians, either because we were dummies to elect them in the first place, and so they continue to treat us as dummies, or they are so dumb they don't know what they say and when to say it. I don't know which it is. So I listened to all of that yesterday, and I'm saying, my God, what are people overseas thinking of us? What are the more intelligent solutions or people in the region and diaspora thinking of us? And it's reflected in Facebook, You can see some of the comments, people who were saying one thing are now saying something else out of pure embarrassment, I would imagine. And so we come to today, Tim. Nancy was correct when she said about the standing up thing. Well, I say she was correct because I have not checked it in the House in the standing orders. But what she described there was what happens in the House of Commons. The people stand up, and the Speaker says, I think in House of Commons they actually named them the member or whatever it is, and so there's no and the matter of who's that's just talk, Tim. The Speaker must be a responsible enough person who cares enough about the country to make the more important thing the opportunity to speak.
Yeah, either the Speaker or the President of the Senate.
Screw the lights and screw who you really saw first, because we know that's a game. I was a senator. I know the game. It's all a game, Tim. But if you have a responsible speaker who is not a party hack, and if you look, all of the people who are speakers of the House in St. Lucia are the worst hacks. Some of them even threaten people and are still in the chair. Some of them have reputations that insult the chair. Am I right or wrong? Hello?
That's your discussion, Rick. I don't ask you when I speak.
Discussion.
When I speak, I don't ask you, am I right or wrong? So go ahead, Rick.
The reason I want to do that is because I trust your longevity and the things you have covered, and I don't want anybody out there saying, my God, this is so absurd. Rick Wynn must be making that up. Because we know damn well everybody in our little country, everything there is to know about Rick Wynn, and exaggerations, everybody knows.
You see, when the clip will be played before a judge, The judge will take note that I said, well, boy, I don't know, is Rick? Rick, that's your discussion. That's your argument.
Rick does not expose himself to slander. Neither does he expose. He has more respect and a greater sense of responsibility when he's talking to you on your station to expose you to the possibility of slander. Rick is very, very careful and very, very knowledgeable about the leeway that we citizens have when we are discussing our politicians and and so on. The law of slander and defamation is respectful of our right to free speech, especially when it involves public matters. So I'm very careful and respectful of you and the system when I'm doing that. I'm not going to put you in any jeopardy. So this whole thing is a lack of respect for free speech. It's a war, party war, and of course the government always has the upper hand, always. It's a one-sided war, etc. And that's what's going on there at the expense of the country. But I cannot help thinking that your main topic, not you alone, last night, main topic was this usual games, house games at our expense. This is going on in George Odlum's time, in Compton's, everybody's time. This is an ongoing thing that's only getting worse, Tim, and the anger of the country is getting worse in consequence. So we have murders. We now have, for the record, 2 consecutive independence, our biggest, most important day, supposedly, bloodied by guns. People getting shot with record numbers.
Triple homicides.
Yeah,
triple.
Okay? And 2 consecutive ones, so that now we may well anticipate the next one is going to have similar, because nothing has happened to give us any other mind. So we are better. It's more likely it's going to happen again as not. You get my point?
Yeah.
All right. Because in other words, it's becoming part of the ritual. Okay. So all of that is going on. Yesterday,
you have one more. You have 1 more minute because we need to take a commercial break. 1 more minute. Go ahead.
Yesterday, the commissioner of police saw fit to announce that loop that 99.9% of the time gives the police straight, trustworthy coverage, but not on this occasion. And the big thing, the big problem was that it wasn't that 4 or 5 people tossed things at the police. No, it was as the police were leaving, having done a search, somebody tossed a bottle. Now, you really believe that the commissioner really sat there and said, this is the most important thing I must go and comment, not the murders, not how far we are with a ton of unresolved murders, uninvestigated and unresolved, nothing like that. That the most important thing we wanted to hear from the commissioner is that the loop is 99.9% of the time correct, but on this occasion they were wrong, that instead of 5 people throwing things at the police, it is just one person who threw a bottle and hit the vehicle, and the police will be going there to make investigations and possible arrests. Is somebody spitting in somebody's eye? Thank you very much.
And in the meantime, we're still awaiting an update from her with regard to matters she says that she's been investigating and returned to the press, to report.
The sexual things.
Yeah, so many things, so many.
What's the name? My favorite nightmare. The lady who was shot as she prepared for bed. What's her name again?
Kimberly De Leon.
Kimberly De Leon, the 17-year-old boy. Not a word from that commissioner. Not a word. But she has to tell us, make Luke look bad, nicely, sugar it a little bit, but almost like she's trying to deflect.
Rick, let's put it this way. Maybe she was directed to do that.
Well, of course she was damn well directed. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be diplomatic. Thank you for pulling the veil away from me. Thank you very much, Tim. Bye.
Okay, thank you so much. The broadcast will continue in just a moment with more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages as you continue to monitor NewsSpin.
There is only one option when they've arrived. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille View for accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Coming soon, the same excellent Blue Select service in a new location at Daisy Avenue in Sanssouci, Castries. Thanks for your patience.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Catch the new vibe and the lingo. More upon more so the tingo. Is more wet flow if you didn't know. All these deals is a winner. More upon more wet flow. More data, more talk for sure. More WhatsApp, video can't stop. Unlimited talk, so you not stop chat.
Flow prepaid combo plans just got better. Loaded with even more data and unlimited talk. Take advantage of WhatsApp and all its features with our new prepaid plans. Unleash your creativity with more social media. Dial *129 to activate.
Now that's the new vibe and the lingo. Yes. More upon more, say the tingo. It's more wet flow, now you really know. Get you now. All these deals make you save more. Get more.
An exquisite 3-bedroom modern villa, panoramic ocean views, well-equipped modern appliances, a plunge pool, Bon Esprit Villa. For that quiet getaway in a lush green space, your home away from home. Understated decadence, tranquility, and harmony. For special occasions and weekend getaways, the perfect escape. Bon Esprit Villa. Book now. Call 486-7965.
In these modern times, the field of medicine has become so advanced that no one has to suffer any longer before they can be seen by a specialist doctor. La Clinique de Corps is proud to be the only healthcare provider in St. Lucia to offer the best and most experienced specialist doctors who are capable to first correctly diagnose and then successfully treat health conditions such as chronic back pain, spinal injury, sciatica, numbness, lupus, arthritis, joint pain, facial nerve pain, knee, heel, and shoulder pain, cramps, and carpal tunnel syndrome. Also available at La Clinique de Corps, complete nerve tests to detect nerve injury or muscle disease. All health insurances are accepted at La Clinique de Corps. So walk again pain-free with La Clinique de Corps. To book an appointment, please call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950.
Automotive art is a place to start. Automotive art is a place to start.
Yeah, look, check. We got a wide range of products that are automotive and do-it-yourself supplies if you got a moment. Smart staff that'll always know it. Got rims and tires from trucks to high performance to off-roading. Start hair tools, batteries, oil and car care.
Conseil pour bâti famille. Information à sous nous iti et conseil pour santé sévère. Nous là pour supporter. Vini et prendre l'avantage de service salaire tous les semaines sans payer des sous. Commencez le 1er juin 2023. Service laboratoire et sondage pour un lien qui aide mettre femmes enceintes en plus bonne santé et fait plus sauve pour maman et riche. Visitez Health Center qui plus pour là et enregistrez pour Universal Health Coverage. Pour plus d'informations, couillez 468 5328 et bien 468 5300.
Embrace the magic of the night with someone special by your side. KFC Chicken Nights, a love story waiting to unfold. Sundays to Thursdays, 6 p.m. to closing, just for $35. Share 4 pieces of delectable KFC chicken, 3 tender strips, and 2 regular fries. This enchanting deal is yours to savor at all KFC locations because love knows no boundaries. Having chicken tonight? Make it finger-licking good with KFC's Chicken Nights, where love and flavor come together for a night to remember.
On Easter Sunday, the biggest brunch party in the West returns. Rise 4, the celebration. Easter Sunday, March 31st, Soufre Mini Stadium. Featuring international sensation Tennyson John and the DJ Project live. Also, MTX, A1 Jugglers, Sir Lancelot, Hype Kid, DJ JH and Dallo, Levi Chin, DJ Irv, Power FM DJs, MC Donnerville. Easter Sunday from 12 noon, we rise.
Look at people in here tonight. Dance with me, baby.
Regular tickets are $80 and $350 for VIP terrace area. Get your tickets online at www.fourcirclestickets.com. Mambo's Bar and Courts in Soufre and Courts Ready Cash island-wide. Get VIP and group tickets with no cash at Courts Ready Cash. Dress code Slay in Orange. Rise 4, the celebration, an Optimum event production. Platinum sponsors, Courts Ready Cash and Power 97.9 FM. Gold sponsor, Bank of St. Lucia. Other sponsors, Digicel and Crown.
Mission to save Haiti and war in V4. Kenny, V4 needs saving too. Let's see if we have some more of your WhatsApp messages. Tim, do we know the nature of the speaker's illness? Well, I don't know. And let's see if we have some more. Kimani, any comments in the chat room?
Someone says it's high time that the Soufre Regional Development Foundation honor, pay tribute, show appreciation, and recognize the achievement of King Arthur Allen at the national level by winning the Soca Monarch for 6 consecutive times. Show respect to the king on behalf of the people of Sulphur City.
What's our message? Just tricks and trade. The government side is just bias. And why didn't they debate the bill? They had a hidden agenda. That's my say. What's the message there?
Another Facebook comment. We have a problem with a water meter that was ripped off completely, causing all residents in New City Gate to be without water for 2 days now. The sub-main had to be closed because of the way the water connections were done. We have been calling Wasco from day one, and up to now the repair is not done. They are expected to lock off water from tomorrow for a few days, and we need to fill up our things. Let Wasco know that we need the repair done. Tim, if a minister is too ill to return to work, shouldn't she resign and a by-election be held? Can you answer that question, Tim?
Well, I mean, you have to give her an opportunity to decide. She is ill does not mean that she is incapacitated to the extent that she's paralyzed or she will not be able to function. This is also equal to if somebody is ill in the workplace and they're seeking medical attention overseas or in St. Lucia, people calling for him or her to resign. You have to give the person sufficient time to recuperate, etc., and to make a determination as to whether they should resume their duties. So in this particular case, I think we need to be fair, allow the lady to recuperate, receive a treatment, and, within the next few weeks or so, a determination can be made. But I think that's her call.
Fair enough.
Should be a call.
Another comment. They believe if they talk about the murders that the government will be looking bad. And finally, someone says, Nancy, the House should put things in place that every senator gets to speak when their turn comes by using numbers. You can take a number and you speak according to your number.
All right, we have to share a report with you right now by Eyewitness News out of St. Vincent. The reporter is Kenton Chance. As you'd have heard by now, 3 Grenadian nationals escaped from a police station. And what happened after that? Well, they hijacked a catamaran, which is known as Simplicity. And on that vessel, you had an American couple. Those people are yet to be located, but the authorities in St. Vincent somehow arrested those 3 Grenadian nationals, I think in their waters, and they are now in that territory. What happens from now? Well, it is to be determined, but let us have that report now by Kenton Chance of Eyewitness News.
Law enforcement authorities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada have major decisions to make in the case of the 2 missing U.S. sailors and the 3 Grenadians suspected of killing them. The suspects, Ron Mitchell, 30, Trevor Robertson, 25, and Atiba Stanislaus, 23, are in prison in Kingstown awaiting sentencing next Monday on immigration charges. The men are suspected of killing U.S. nationals Ralph Hendry and Cathy Brandel sometime after they escaped prison in Grenada on February 18 and fled to St. Vincent overnight. The men appeared in court in Kingstown on Monday, the same day that police in St. George's and Kingstown made separate statements on the case.
The investigation thus far indicates that after the suspects or the escapees had escaped, they hijacked a yacht named Simplicity that was moored at Grand Anse Beach in Grenada and kidnapped the couple. The investigation further reveals that while sailing from Grenada, the suspects committed several criminal acts, including bodily harm to the couple.
Information suggests that while traveling between Grenada and St. Vincent, they disposed of the occupants.
Police in Kingstown say that the men illegally entered the jurisdiction via the southwest coast of St. Vincent on February 19, traveling on the catamaran Simplicity, which they had hijacked from the U.S. sailors. The yacht seen here at the Coast Guard base in Calico, St. Vincent, had evidence of violence on board, as Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police Trevor Bailey told the Bub Report on Sunday.
The yacht has been processed forensically. It has been photographed, sample has been taken. There's evidence that there were struggle on board. There was the presence of blood. Persons seem to have spent a lot of time on the yacht because, there's evidence, there are signs that things were thrown about in the cabin of the boat. So we have done the processing as detailed as we can alongside the authorities from Grenada as well. And we have collected several samples from that yacht.
Grenada has dispatched a 5-member team of investigators to work alongside their Vincentian counterparts on the case.
When it comes to the investigation, as you would appreciate, all of that is happening within the authority of St. Vincent. What we can have done from our end, which is assist in collaboration, we have done that by dispatching 5 persons. But the question of the investigation, it's under the jurisdiction of the St. Vincent Authority. Jurisdiction, let it be known that in putting a trial before the court, jurisdiction will be a factor. It will be a factor. That there is ongoing discussions between the Attorney General in St. Vincent, as well as Attorney General in Grenada, between the Director of Public Prosecution in Grenada and his outreach to St. Vincent. All of that will be worked out with time.
Bailey said that the men have made certain admissions to police, but he also noted the issue of jurisdiction.
There has been some admissions, and I do not want to go into, and respectfully, cannot go into details, but to say they have been electronically interviewed and their recordings are intact. With regards to the cross-border issues and as to jurisdiction, we are in conversation and we're working assiduously to have those issues resolved. Searches has been conducted by air, the regional security system. They have done some flying. Our Coast Guard has done some checking. Unfortunately, we have not discovered the bodies of the two missing persons. We are hopeful that we may be able to recover the remains.
Bailey was speaking after meeting with relatives of Hendry and Brandel, who traveled to St. Vincent after they disappeared. The relatives are seen here on Saturday next to the yacht at the Caliacor Coast Guard base.
They would have assisted us tremendously in the sense that they were shown some items that they readily identify as property belonging to the missing persons. So we have moved from suspicion to confirmation that these property belong to the persons who are missing and would have been on board of the yacht at some stage. So the investigation is progressing nicely.
What I can say to the family is my condolences. We're still hoping for what I consider a positive outcome, which is we still have the hope that that a worst case scenario will not be the reality. Should it happen, but we understand the stress that they are going through. And for that, we really send out our support and our prayers.
In the meantime, two Caribbean countries hold their collective breath on the outcome of a case that has brought unwanted international attention to the region and most likely robbed families of their loved ones. Kenton Chance, Eyewitness News, Kingstown, St. Vincent.
Thank you very much for that report from Eyewitness News, Kenton Chance. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of NewsSpin right here on Power 97.9 FM, as well as on the NewsSpin Facebook page and the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Here's to a very enjoyable and safe Wednesday. Join me this evening, 7 o'clock for the DBS News World, and at 8:30, Newsmaker Live. Goodbye.